This evening, Guyana receives US $12 million for a skills development and employability project. Family of a GTI student killed by a gang at the Route 45 bus park is demanding justice. Ministry of Housing and Water launched its 500 homes project in Bartica. In the region, unpacking the results of Brazil's heated presidential elections, and internationally, North Korean missile launch, Japan and South Korea condemns tests. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The Caribbean Development Bank has provided the government of Guyana with US $12,252,000 for Guyana's skill development and employability project. The initiative will see practical instruction centers across the country being boosted to deliver technical vocational education and training programs. The Ministry of Education has tendered the supply of tools and equipment for 6 practical instruction centers in 10 lots. These include homekeeping, masonry and steel fixing, motor vehicle repairs, plumbing, welding and fabrication, commercial food preparation, graphic design, garment making, and furniture making. The bidding document is obtainable at no cost to the prospective bidders. Hard copies of bids must be submitted in sealed envelopes no later than Tuesday, October 11, 2022 to the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, Main and Urquhart Street, Kingston, Georgetown. The family member of a 19-year-old student who was attacked, brutally beaten, and subsequently died are seeking justice. 19-year-old Wall Samuel Gunham of Samaru Dam was allegedly beaten by a group of men in the vicinity of the Route 45 bus park, Stabroek, on Friday, September 30, 2022. The electrical installation level 2 student of the Government Technical Institute passed away on Monday while receiving medical attention for his injuries. The father of the now dead teen spoke of the injuries the young man sustained from the beating.
They kind of broke a rollie about 15 or 16 and broke my son and started beating the baseball bat in the head. They cut him by the neck, break the ribs. All the back was the fracture skull, 2 places skull fracture and bungy pony eyes over the eye.
The family believes that it may have been a matter of mistaken identity. Marcia Gunham, an aunt of the dead teen, said her family is yet to ascertain what may have led to the fatal beating.
And I am asking the Guyana police force to do something. We need justice. My nephew, all those who knew my nephew, know that he's not a troublemaker. He don't be in certain things. I need justice for my nephew. He's easygoing. He goes, he come, aunt, uncle, whoever, he don't be in wrong business.
Based on information related to the family members, there was a fight involving several students at the Government Technical Institute a while back, and as such, the suspects might have mistaken the young man as the person who was involved in the fight. Marcia Gunham stated that her nephew was never part of the fight and he was not someone who would get into trouble. As such, the family wants the Guyana police force to conduct a thorough investigation into the incident.
I need justice. The police didn't do anything. I had to use my transportation, my vehicle to transport police Saturday to go to scene and all of that. That is not fair. This is hard. This is my brother's only child. He's 19 years old, a student. A matter of fact, 19 years old.
Well, I'm glad they could speedy investigation and let me give me justice because my son could ask anybody, Indian, black, Chinese school, into the own school as a principal, as an Indian man, they come and they talk very good about this. So to ask anybody. My son is not them type of poor.
Up to news time, the Guyana police force has not released any information in connection with the incident. Stick around after the break. Guyana Fire Service held fire safety exhibition at the Central Fire Station, and Ministry of Housing and Water launches its 500 home project at Bartica.
Mais où Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Kitty, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Residents of Bartica turned out in their numbers at the Bartica Community Center, Region 7, Cuyuni, Mazzaroni earlier today as the Ministry of Housing and Water launched its 500 Homes project. The first 103-bedroom housing unit will be constructed in 5 miles, Region 7. The 864-square-foot flat homes will be constructed at a cost of $9 million. Each unit will be equipped with a washroom, living room, and a kitchen with cupboards. Scores of residents attended the launching ceremony, where they were given the opportunity to pre-qualify for the homes. Pre-qualifications were done on the spot by Citizens Bank and the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry. Selected applicants can receive the 30-year mortgage plan for approximately $42,000 monthly or opt for a shorter arrangement. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crone and Minister within the Ministry Susan Rodriguez spearheaded the activity. Permanent Secretary Andre Ali and Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority Sherwin Greaves were also present. A 4-year-old child was admitted to the New Amsterdam Hospital in critical condition after reportedly ingesting a poisonous substance. The mother of the child told the police that she placed the bottle of the poisonous substance in her goat pen and hid it between a tire. She said her daughter was out in the yard playing and subsequently ventured into the livestock pen where the substance was placed. She further stated that shortly after, the child came to her and told her that she had opened the bottle in the pen and consumed some of the substance. The woman stated that she immediately rushed her daughter to the Port Moran Public Hospital, where she was examined and later transferred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital for further treatment. However, in an unexpected turn of events, the mother of the 4-year-old has confessed to force-feeding the child Gramoxone. The woman reportedly told the police that she collected the poisonous substance in a Pepsi bottle from her in-law on Sunday. Later that day, an argument erupted between herself and her husband, and she threatened to poison their 2 children, the 4-year-old and a younger child. She also threatened to end her life. The woman only managed to force-feed the poison to the 4-year-old before the child reportedly informed her father. Regional Commander Shiv Prasad Bacchus has confirmed that the 23-year-old woman and her husband are in police custody, assisting with the investigations, while the 4-year-old child remains critical at the New Amsterdam Hospital. The Guyana Fire Service on Monday hosted a fire safety exhibition at the Central Fire Station, Water Street, Georgetown. The activity is one of several planned for Fire Prevention Month 2022. Cadet Officer Javid Mohammed, who is attached to the Fire Prevention Unit, spoke about the objective of the activities.
The purpose is to get fire prevention message out there to civilians. Also, we will be tackling the schools and educate them about fire safety and prevention as well.
The exhibition featured fire safety equipment, various fire prevention and firefighting tools, and other safety equipment. All electrical cables and simple activities like cooking are some of the most common fire hazards in the home. Mohammed said fire hazards in the home are mostly related to electrical issues and cooking.
We mostly focus on electrical and cooking because most buildings in Guyana, after they install the electrical wires and so, normally you're supposed to check on them every 25 years, replace them. But in Guyana, persons tend to keep adding appliances and keep using the same electrical wiring, and it would deteriorate after time, and that will result in fire.
Cooking can also pose a hazard when safety is not taken seriously. Persons would leave things on the stove and have combustible materials right around open flames as well. The exhibition is aimed at spreading awareness of fire prevention among the population. Cadet Mohammed noted that the fire service is trying to encourage more persons to acquire fire extinguishers for their homes and learn how to use it.
So, encourage persons to own a fire extinguisher within and also know to use it, because most fires start small, and once they could use the extinguisher, they could combat that fire before or arrive.
The emergency medical technicians were also at the exhibition, showcasing the various safety and first aid equipment. The activity is one of several planned for Fire Prevention Month 2022. Other activities planned for the month includes a fire safety exhibition and grand fire safety fair at the National Park on October 14th, a fitness walk on October 15th, and a fun day at the Ministry of Education's ground. A brunch will also be held on October 23rd to raise money for fire victims and the less fortunate. The theme for this year's Fire Prevention Month is working together as one Guyana to prevent fires. Don't go away after the break. Unpacking the results of Brazil's heated presidential election and Ukrainian force advance southwards, mirroring success in the east.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Kitty, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through.
Plus, I could dance again.
Lenders Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and that is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you that light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Brazilians are still reflecting on the results of Sunday's presidential election, where incumbent Jair Bolsonaro defied opinion polls in the first round. He will now face a runoff later this month against Lula da Silva. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
In this emblematic Sao Paulo eatery, a couple of regulars discuss Sunday night's election results. Like many Brazilians, Lucio says he's in shock.
There isn't a right wing anymore. It's an extreme right wing, a radicalization, and the same on the left. I think it's a global trend. We've seen it in Italy and many other countries. And unfortunately, this polarization is leaving us obliged to choose between extremes.
Voters gave hard-line conservative candidates to Congress, the Senate, and governors an unprecedented boost, practically eliminating Brazil's political center-right. Incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro may have come in a close second in the first round of the presidential race. But his once weak political party was hands down the winner of the national elections, defying all predictions. And that's no small feat. An example, Bolsonaro's former environmental minister, Ricardo Salles, was elected to Congress. During the pandemic, he was recorded telling a cabinet meeting that the health emergency would serve as an excellent distraction for cattle farmers to overrun the Amazon rainforest. Another person is Damares Alves, a hardcore conservative who opposes progressive women's rights and has been elected senator.
It's up to the people to choose who they identify with. They were the candidates who represent Bolsonaro's policies.
All this marks a major shift.
I think what's happening in Brazil since before the election is that the environment, the political environment in Brazil, the zeitgeist of Brazil, if we can say that, is conservative. We are in a conservative country. Lula is an exception.
Lula is, of course, the former left-wing president who scored 48% of the votes in the presidential race and will face Bolsonaro again in a runoff later this month. But winning won't be easy. Bolsonaro has a huge advantage over his rival. As president, he can address his compatriots anytime he wants, on television or on radio, and he also has access to the executive checkbook, which, as he's already suggested, he will continue to use to help offset the impact of inflation. He's wasting no time. Monday, the government announced it was bringing forward a welfare payment due at the end of the month, and a second one, 5 days before the runoff. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Sao Paulo.
Internationally, North Korea has fired a ballistic missile over Japan, the fifth launch in 10 days, amid expectations that it is gearing up to test its first nuclear weapon in 5 years. Al Jazeera's Robert McBride reports.
This is a major escalation and follows a prolonged period of increased missile testing by North Korea. The intermediate-range missile flew over northern Japan, prompting a warning for people there to take cover. It landed in the Pacific Ocean and brought this response from Japan's Prime Minister.
The firing, which followed a recent series of launches by North Korea, is a reckless act, and I strongly condemn it.
It's 5 years since the North last fired missiles over the top of Japan, when relations were at their most tense in decades.
It threatens the peace and security of the region. It is a serious challenge for the entire international community.
There's been similar condemnation from South Korea.
North Korea fired a medium long-range missile with a range of 4,000 kilometers over Japan, as I said on Armed Forces Day on October 1st. Such reckless nuclear provocation will face a decisive response from our military, our allies, and the international community.
Already facing the toughest sanctions and largely shunned by the international community, the North seems undeterred, with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un declaring last month that his country is now officially a nuclear-armed power. And testing longer-range missiles seems to send that message to the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think one way to read these tests pretty frequently is that there's sort of a demand for attention. North Korea doesn't like being understood as the failed Korea or the weird Korea, or somehow it's not the real one compared to South Korea.
This launch comes as the US and its South Korean and Japanese allies wrap up Navy drills, led by the Ronald Reagan, the first exercise by an American aircraft carrier to Korean waters in 5 years. And with warnings from South Korean intelligence officials that the North could soon conduct its first nuclear test since 2017. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
And finally, Ukrainian forces achieved their most significant breakthrough in the country's south since Russia invaded, pushing across Moscow's defense lines on Monday and advancing along the Dnieper River, recapturing a number of villages along the way and threatening enemy supply lines. Al Jazeera's Rory Challenge reports.
This is probably not what Moscow's politicians envisage when they think of Russian control. Dead Russian soldiers in the streets, the Ukrainian flag flying in recaptured Liman. But it's the reality of a war that's not going Moscow's way. On Tuesday, Russia's upper house unanimously ratified the annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions, but Russia's grip on them is tenuous at best and weakening.
Today, the offensive movement of our army and all of our defenders continued. There are newly liberated settlements in several regions. Fierce fighting continues in many areas on the front. But the prospect of these hostilities is obvious. More and more occupiers are trying to escape. The enemy army is suffering more and more losses, and there is a growing understanding that Russia made a mistake by starting the war against Ukraine.
Winter is not far off. But after her home in Liman was hit, 85-year-old Valentina cooks on an open fire and lives in a basement.
I was standing in the hole about 5 meters away when it boomed. I was thrown back. God forbid, now I can't hear well.
Though a victory for Ukraine, retaking Liman came with costs. A soldier lies in the shattered remains of a petrol station, and his comrades begin the process of sending him home.
We fight for our land, for our children, so that our people can live better, but all this comes at a very high price.
In the southern Kherson region, another Ukrainian breakthrough is racking up rapid successes. Ukraine's high command is aware the window for big territorial gains may be closing. As autumn sets in, battlefield conditions will get muddy and slow, and Russia's poorly defended positions will be better manned with mobilised soldiers. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.